And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. So on today's episode, I'm gonna try to tackle something. There's a lot of things that get said. There's a lot of Cabal members out there, and one of the big things is if you're in the Cabal, you're always looking out for certain people. And one of the big Cabal members, probably the biggest Cabal members, a lot of people refer to E4. If you guys don't know what E4 is, it's a Elite Forum. It's pretty much just a blog website where people could post different Pokemon discussions. If you want to find information on like pretty obscure scare stuff, it goes back years. You could pretty much find anything you're looking for way before the days of YouTube and right after like the Poke Gyms days E4 picked up. But one of the things I've heard Nostalgicnomics say is talk about E4, talk about them as the Cabal, and talk about how they were silencing him. And one of the reasons E4 silenced him was, well, he was pro-modern. And everybody in E4, because they're all part of the Cabal, no one in E4 thinks modern's investable. Nobody talked about modern, and anybody who brought the viewpoint into E4 talking about how modern was investable, they were silenced. That's a big thing. It's the victim mentality. I said modern's investable, and I became the victim because E4 banned me. Well, that might not be really what happened. But I want you guys, I'm going to ask everybody out there watching this, if you're watching this real time or you're watching this after the fact, I'm going to give you just a couple seconds. I want you to think in your head, why was Nostalgicnomics banned from E4? I want you to think of the reason, and we'll talk about it, but I'll give you guys a little bit of time. And I thought about doing like the worst thing you could do on YouTube is just wait 5 seconds of just pure silence, but that's deadly on YouTube. So what I'm going to do is instead, I'm going to show off the playmat that I got in the mail today from my friend Mr. Rattle Pokemon. So I'm pretty sure Rattle sent me a playmat of a Raichu giving a nice HJ to a Charmeleon, and it looks like he's bringing him right to climax. I don't know if it's a non-Spitty HJ. I don't know if it's a Spitty HJ. But either way, they both look like they're having a great time. So, Mr. Rattle Pokemon, this was a different playmat. So, I appreciate the gift. And I guess we're going to have to do some openings now on what I could only imagine is a Raichu bringing a Charmeleon to climax. So, great. Very few times when I open up a gift from somebody to actually laugh out loud. But, so now I gave you guys a lot of time to think. Why was Nostalgicnomics kicked off at E4? Well, before I answer that question, you guys know what this is? Just random. Trust me, there's a reason for this conversation we're going to have. This is Leonhardt's pop-up shop. I went there with Mr. Basic Trainer, Rattle Pokemon. We met up. We had a great time. If you look right there, you can see that's a base set Mewtwo. It graded a PSA 10. I pulled that Mewtwo while I was at the Leonhardt pop-up shop. I went there with Basic Trainer. Basic Trainer pulled the base set Charizard on stage. It was a pretty awesome moment. I really milked my trip to Leonhardt's pop-up shop. I probably made 6 to 8 hours worth of content based around that one trip. I had multiple lives talking about going there, coming back. I had Basic Trainer, I had Rock Pokemon talking about our experience. And a lot of what I talked about was, while we had a great time, and I think a lot of that great time was just, we were lucky. We were one of the first ones in. We were number 33 in line to get our packs. We only had to wait like 15 minutes to get our packs. While we were waiting in line, we were talking. The Gem Mint Pokemon came up to us. I saw Rusty TCA Gaming. Sub F was there. He let Rock Pokemon open up a Harriet Potter pack. We were the second or third group on the stage to open up our pack. So, because all the packs, you could go on the main stage and they could be lived open. And yeah, I was the second or third group, and Basic Trainer was the fourth or fifth. He was literally the group right after me. And we were there. We were drinking a lot. We met up with some tons of great people. After the fact, we all went out to sushi. We went out to all these bars. We closed bars. We had a freaking wild time at the Leonhardt pop-up shop. I got to meet Old Card Shop for the first time. Got to meet a lot of people. It was a fun time. But I talked about it in all the lives, like all the issues that were with the Leonhardt pop-up shop. There was a lot of issues, and I addressed those in all my videos. And I told you I made 6 hours, 8 hours worth of content talking about that. Then I addressed all the issues that were there. And at the time, I didn't really have a problem with Leonhardt, and I haven't really ever had a problem with Leonhardt until as of recently. I've heard some information from people. Now, a lot of the information I've heard about Leonhardt is it's all secondhand. It's all, but what I've heard, especially a lot of the stuff going on with Rare Candy, it's really changed the way I look at Leonhardt, and I'm not really a fan of him like I used to be because of some information that I've heard privately, but because it is conjecture, it is, secondhand knowledge. Like, I'm not going to share those, but my opinions on Leonhardt have changed. But at the time, I was like, I thought it was a great event. So you're probably listening to me do this and be like, what the hell is PK ranting about? Like, this is silly. PK is supposed to be talking about, like, Alex. Why did Alex get banned from E4? Why the fuck is PK keep talking about the Leonhardt pop-up shop? Nobody cares about the Leonhardt pop-up shop. That was years ago. Well, guess what? We're going to pull up the reason why Mr. Nostalgianomics got kicked off of E4. This is the post. Do you see the date? Nostalgianomics, January 2022. So I know what you're thinking. You're going to be like, PK, how the hell did you get, an old E4 post? This guy's banned. How did you find it? Well, we got one of these. A lot of us in the Cabal, it's standard issue because we all live in the past. We all only love vintage. So everybody in the Cabal, we get a Razor flip phone, and everybody's numbers are saved into this Razor, and you could only call out or call in. You can't do anything else. It's a Razor flip phone. So, we got on the Cabal meeting. We made sure, we said, well, why was Nostalgianomics banned from E4? Because if he was just talking about modern and all the vintage people on there were just ganging up on him, well, it was a bad thing. It was a bad look for E4. So, we used to have a giant, like, Batman spotlight. You could throw the bat signal up and call the E4 members, but prices of vintage have gone down so much that all the E4 members can't afford the electric bill, so no more floodlights. But we're going to go through, and we're going to do, why was Nostalgianomics kicked off of E4? I'm going to give you a little hint here. If you want to turn off the video right now, you could probably save yourself 20 minutes of agony, or of just misery, put it that way, because it has nothing to do with vintage versus modern. Trust me. So you just saved yourself 20 minutes if you turn off the video right now. Don't forget to smash that dislike button on your way out and go really fuck yourself, whoever hits that. So let's go to the E4. This was the original post. This is what happened. This is why Nostalgianomics got kicked off of E4. It says, real quick, I just want to see what people are saying. Okay. So this is a reason. So this was the original topic he wrote. Nostalgianomics wrote, one word, cringe. No energy, no excitement, quite boring, not fun. No feel of 90s card shop. No feel of being a kid in 99. Worst fail of Pokemon event. Sorry, Leonhardt. Love ya, but take the big L on this one. And I'm sure this will get deleted again. Deleted again? Huh. I know you were talking about a lot of your posts getting deleted, but I thought your posts were getting deleted because you were pro-modern. And everybody was against you, and they were all vintage guys. This looks like your posts were getting deleted because you were spam posting about the Leonhardt pop-up shop. And if anybody out there doesn't know, this is the 4th post that Nostalgianomics reposted for this Leonhardt pop-up shop rant. And they kept deleting his posts because there was already a post. And it's part of the E4 policy that they only they don't want to have a ton of different posts about the same topic. So they just kept deleting his, and he just kept doing it. He kept reposting Leonhardt pop-up shop hate blog posts. So people entertain them. Let's go down in here. Let's see, what did Nostalgianomics do? I'm telling you, if you want to turn it off right now, you're probably going to save yourself about 18 minutes at this point. Somebody said, sounds like you went and pulled an exclusive Rocket Sneak Attack Hollow. Nostalgianomics replied, I could have pulled Errors Blaine's Charizard, Error Dark Dragonite, base Charizard, and still had the same opinion. I will say, whenever Leonhardt came out, he got the energy up, called the pack openings with hype you would expect, and did amazing jobs. But the rest of the people running the event, blah. Sorry, shout out to Pat Flynn. I know Pat Flynn, Real Breaking Nate. I know both of you guys were the number 1 and number 2 host of this event. But Sorry. Sorry, Deep Pocket Monsters. Sorry, Real Breaking Nate. According to Nostalgicnomics, the rest of the people running the event, which were mainly you on the stage, you were blah. I would beg to differ. I think Deep Pocket Monster didn't do a bad job. I didn't think Real Breaking Nate did too bad of a job. I thought they just were handed something crazy last second. They had to go up on the stage, but they did okay. So Swolpoke responded. He said, then leave. He said, I finally did. I wanted to keep hope alive that it would get better. So I don't know if Nostalgicnomics was there at the Leonhardt pop-up shop or if he was only watching this online. I couldn't really tell. From what it sounds like in this post, it sounds like Nostalgicnomics was there. He was at the Leonhardt pop-up shop in person, but I can't really tell. He said, I finally did. I wanted to keep hope alive that it would get better. But then Bash2112 said, but you're able to buy some cool stuff. He goes, it's not the point. If people flew from across the country and got a hotel, it's less value than the trip cost. It honestly just gives you great respect for how good the actual companies who put on these events are at what they do. Bash says, I guess so. To me, it's a choice whether or not you have fun at the event. You can't always expect to be entertained. Be the one having a great time. It's what my dad always told me, but different strokes for different folks. EV Team said, at Nostalgicnomics, I agree, it lacks energy, but he tried to do something positive. No need to knock him down so aggressively. The Firestorm said, well, every person they talk to say they are loving it. Just because the stream is underwhelming doesn't mean it's a major fail. There's a difference between the front row of a concert and a live stream concert, right? Question mark. And then Nostalgicnomics responds, I get that and be positive and all, but at some point it can't be sunshine and rainbows and the truth has to be spoken. Especially if others plan to do events like this in the future. I would hope they take the negative of this and rework it into something enjoyable for the fans and the attendees that spend their time and money to attend and support. Shadowless said, what exactly are you missing though? What creates excitement for you? What makes you feel like being a kid in 99? This is highly subjective. I don't know what I think what he's saying is, what were you expecting from this stream, Nostalgicnomics? Did you want something absolutely crazy? Like, you seemed really hurt by this stream. And this is your 4th post now. Because your 3 other posts got deleted, but this is your 4th one. Squirtle says, I'm telling you guys, you might want to turn off this video. It doesn't get much better from here. This is why he got banned. We're going to get to it. Squirtle says, it sounds like you went to it with unrealistic expectation. Obviously, no one forced you to fly across the country and incur those costs. It was never going to be financially worth it, in my opinion. The biggest reason to do events like this is to meet up with friends from around the country or make new friends while you're there. I did both those things, met up with my friends, made new friends while I was there. Shout out to Josh, the old card shop. For me, the social component would be the biggest source of value. The venue in itself is just a backdrop for being surrounded by like-minded individuals who all enjoy the same hobby. It isn't that big of a deal to you or you do not see the same way. That's completely fair. But it might mean events like this really aren't for you. I don't think Squirtle was like super aggressive towards him. Nostalgicnomics says, just logged on, read the chat for 1 minute. 80% of the comments are cringe, L, no energy, etc. Why has it become impossible to say one negative thing about anything? Whatever. I guess I'll just leave it to each his own. Enjoy, I guess. And then, you know what? You guys can go back. I'll scroll through this slowly. If you want to pause the video, Zubat is saying, like, this is boring freaking shit. Like, I feel like I have to read it for context, but it's boring. It doesn't get much better than this. And then you can read Zubat. Oh, fuck, I'll read all the comments. This is going to be cringy. Speaking of cringe, this is cringe. Zubat says, I got nothing but respect for Leonhardt after this. This event is so super ambitious. I can't imagine the cost planning, rental facility, blah, 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 blah. And then Nostalgicnomics said, great point, and I agree. It's so boring, this post, right? And then eventually, like, it heats up a little bit. And then he starts, like, getting on this rant about, like, Elon Musk and Tom Brady and Disney and stuff. And he just keeps responding to everybody, too. And then, like, eventually people are like, dude, I think you're missing the point here. And then people are just responding back. And it's just... And then this is when people start getting aggressive. And then people are like, say the Nostalgicnomics, you're taking L's at life. And then Nostalgicnomics responds back, ouch, good one. You got me. I'm very hurt. And then Orion says, sounds like you went and pulled the this is back. And then he goes, and then somebody says to Nostalgicnomics that this is incredibly rude. And then somebody says to Nostalgicnomics, it's quite obvious somebody hurt you. This shit's all boring. Like, so boring. Like, but I guess he was super offended like this because the comments that people were writing to him was, this was the gatekeeping. This was the cabal he dealt with. And then Nostalgicnomics starts to get a little spicy. He goes, very happy, or so somebody said, it's quite obvious somebody hurt you. He goes, very happy, but thank you. Sorry I hurt your feelings with a little truth, because that's what he does. Like, remember, Nostalgicnomics, he only brings the truth. That's all he brings. And then eventually somebody removed it, and then SM Pratt said, I made a positive/normal thread about the event, and like, that was the whole thing. They removed it because SM Pratt already had a whole thing about it. Actually, the Leonhardt pop-up shop thread, I believe, is still on E4. You can go back and read the thread. They just didn't want a ton of multiples of the Leonhardt pop-up shop thread, and this was the fourth one Nostalgicnomics made. And so, this is when he talks about his post getting deleted. So I guess after my 2 threads were deleted on this topic, I figured out what was allowed on this site. This was the greatest Pokemon event ever put on in the history of Pokemon. Nothing could have been better or proved upon. It had the best energy, excitement, and entertaining you could ask for. So obviously he's just being condescending right there. And like, this was just kind of where it ended. And then people are saying it's a lot allowed because Scott posted because it was like the main event, and then not you again. And then somebody replied to like another post he was in where Nostalgicnomics like, I played ice hockey at D1 school and had 7 amateur MMA fights and 2 professional. You think a discussion about Pokemon's gonna make me cry? Bahaha. Sorry you're not talking to a 10-year-old here, you big bad scary man. Sorry it triggers you to hear an event was again, he's talking about the event, not modern. Sorry it triggers you to hear an event was underwhelming and not entertaining or exciting. And then somebody responds, sorry to hear the MMM fights you lost damage you emotionally. If you're open to a mature discussion about Pokemon-related topics, there's a lot of us who would love to hear your thoughts. And then after, like, he just kept being super aggressive in posts, they just deleted. They banned him because he just kept, like, he wasn't taking the hint. So, let's see something. Let's see. Gotta find the post. So, okay. So here's PFM Admiral. He goes, laugh my fucking ass off. So this was when people were like brought up Nostalgicnomics' name. He's like, laugh my fucking ass off. He goes, that guy was let go because he couldn't follow simple posting etiquettes. Examples, the Leonhardt pop-up shop. This was the one he gave. This is the one we just read. He goes, this thread was locked because it got too negative. He proceeded to remake the thread, so we merged and deleted them. I just made the one above public again so you can see. He kept doubling down and also took it out on moderation staff, so he said goodbye after about the 4th attempt at making the same point in different threads about the pop-up shop. Some are still deleted. Ironically, most people can probably agree that the pop-up shop was kind of a dud. He's even agreeing that it was kind of a dud. Can't say I've ever even thought about him since. Glad to know we live rent-free in his head. It's a bit humorous that he wears his E4 ban like an intellectual badge of honor. Meanwhile, I legitimately don't know anything about him or any of his ideas. All I know is he wasn't capable of civil discussion for his short time he was here. But to all serious, this is the standard bait for the conspiracy-minded. The more you can demonstrate you are ostracized from the establishment, the more the audience will think that they are consuming some knowledge that separates them from the average person. That's it. That's the Cabal. That is the Cabal in a nutshell. All the big bad Cabal and the, you wanted to talk about modern, and nobody wants to fucking talk about modern. Modern is, like, that's what E4, I thought that's what E4 was. I thought E4 was just silencing you. because you were just talking about Modern and they didn't like to hear your thoughts on Modern. No. That had nothing to fucking do with it. You kept making the same post about the Leonhardt pop-up shop instead of just posting in the normal thread. They told you to stop doing it and you kept doing it, so they fucking got rid of you. That's it. And then all the comments that people were writing back to you, I don't really think it was that bad. Sorry. The big bad, that's the Cabal. That is the worst experience in the world you just experienced right there on E4. I feel, Alex, this is why I titled this video the way we did. PK exposes the Cabal. I exposed them. The fucking E4 guys, they're all exposed. You know, I don't know what to say. Is that it? It took all this time. I always wondered why you got banned from E4. I could never fucking figure out why. Because you said you got banned for talking about Modern and everybody was just vintage lovers and all the E4 members, they're in each other's fucking pockets, giving everybody fucking hand jobs because if somebody cut a hole in the pocket, so there's a little hole in their fucking jeans and you could just fucking jay them off like everybody's in fucking prison or some shit like that. Like, that's how you explained E4 to me. And I was like, you know what? I've been on E4 before. I want to say that most people on E4 like modern Pokemon. I would say that there are a lot of people that like vintage, but there's a majority of the people like modern. But I just couldn't figure out what did he say, but now we know. This is it. This is it. The Cabal. We've exposed them. And I guess people are going to say, PK, what are you trying to get out of this video? Listen, all I'm trying to get out of this video is I hope that someday in the future, you'll stop fucking saying you got kicked off at E4 because you were this pro-modern guy. And listen, if you have another name on E4 that was not Nostalgianomics, because I've watched your lives, you've mentioned on your live that not only does E4 block your name, you can't even create new accounts because they block your IP address. Listen, if you have another account on E4 that was banned and has different things, listen, in the comments of this video, tell me the name of that account and we'll pull up that history too. We'll read all those comments and maybe I was wrong. Maybe you were talking about modern with that other account. Just tell us the name. All we got to do is we need to know the name. Because the Cabal could fucking pull it up. We'll look at all the stuff you wrote. We'll know, was he actually talking about modern? Did everyone get offended? But I'm telling you, if you think you got banned from E4 for shilling modern, that was not it. This, what I just showed, was why you got banned. I hope we could at least have figured that fucking shit out, you psychopath. You put up I believed in you in a way. I was like, oh, you must have been fucking saying some shit and pissing a lot of people off being the pro-modern dude. But you were fucking just reposting Leonhardt pop-up shop stuff the whole time. This is why you were banned. We had to go pull up old E4 threads to even figure out why. The moderators didn't even know who you were. Like, they couldn't even remember you. Reality check. Reality sucks sometimes, huh? Well, anyways, this was a fun live. Fucking short live, 23 minutes. It only took me 23 minutes to expose that evil, evil E4 Cabal. Those bad, bad people out there. Feel free to fucking go back and read any of those stupid-ass comments. As always, guys, listen. Appreciate every single one of you guys. If you enjoy this video and you actually like that we now know why fucking Alex was banned from E4, smash that like button. If you're new to this channel and you like this drama content, I guess I'm a drama channel now, smash that like button. If you don't like this content, smash the dislike button. If you don't like me as a person, pew, 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 go fuck yourself. As always, I'll catch you on the next video.